Today, on What It's Like, this car was highly requested in the comment section. 1987 Conquest TSI by Chrysler. But before diving in deep on this one, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like. This channel, we feature the classics, vintage, some exotics, lots of orphan cars, and cars that are off the beaten path. If that sounds of interest to you, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. If you dig this channel and you like this episode, please give us a like so more people can see this video in the future. Couple announcements to make. September 21st will mark 1 year of doing YouTube videos. And it's really exciting. This channel has grown a lot faster than I thought it would. So we're going to do a reflection episode on the 21st. It will air the 21st. It's not going to be a live thing unless you guys want it to be a live thing. If you want to see what I'm like live, then we could do that. We can make that happen. If you have any questions that you'd like to know about me, put them in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to answer them on the September 21st reflection video. One more announcement, and then we're going to get on to the featured car. If you guys would like to see a car that I haven't done yet, put it as a request in the comment section below. I have a list of requests that I've been working on all this year, and there's some cars on there that I just haven't gotten to, but I'm still looking for those cars. I don't want you to think that I forgot about you or anything like that. I'm working on it, but some of these cars are really hard to find, like this featured car. Let's talk 1987 Conquest TSI by Chrysler. So, fun fact, Plymouth and Dodge also offered the Conquest, but in 1984. But here's where things get super interesting. All three cars are actually rebadged versions of an original car that was called the Mitsubishi Starion, which was produced from 1983 to 1989. Chrysler Conquest TSI production run was from mid-year 1987 to mid-year 1989, and it was a carbon copy of the Mitsubishi Starion ESI-R, the only difference being manufacturer logo and badging of where they put the logos. This is the 1980s version of a Subaru BRZ or Scion FRS, or Pontiac Solstice and Saturn Sky, but this was the 1980s version of that. Let's talk specs. 173 inches long, 68.3 inches wide, 50.2 inches tall. It rides a wheelbase of 95.9 inches. Weighs 3,031 pounds. Price, $18,974, which is equivalent to you spending $49,467.86 in the year 2022. Moving on to engines. There was only one engine on offer for the Chrysler Conquest TSI. It was a 156.3 cubic inch displacement EFI, or electronic fuel injection, single overhead cam, turbo inline four-cylinder, 2.6 liters, making 188 horsepower, 234 foot-pounds of torque. It could go 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds, which is still fast by today's standards. I mean, it's not in the 3.2 range, but 6.5, that's fast. Even in the 80s, when hardly no car could touch that figure. Could get up to 22 miles per gallon on the highway. 142 miles per hour is the alleged top speed, and it does the quarter mile in 15 seconds. Two transmissions on offer, could either be paired with the 5-speed manual or the slush box. Before doing the tour, let's talk about styling. When I saw this car across the way, I thought it was a 944, but the more I walked up on it and I saw more and more lines, I was like, that does not look like a 944, but it did on first impression. But man, I love the lines of this thing, and I honestly never knew that this car even existed until I got requests for it. It's an oddball 80s car, rebadged 80s car, but man, the styling looks absolutely gorgeous. And the fact that it could go 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds, it's made me kind of want one, because they're an oddball 80s car that nobody hardly remembers, but it was cool. And you know, it looks cool. Inside is totally 80s. You can't mistake it for any other time period. And I absolutely love the lines of this car. The more you look at this car, the more different car influences you see. I definitely see 944. I definitely see Ford made this like shotgun car. It was like they only made 3 or 4 of them. Leno's got one. There's influences of that in there. There's all kinds of different designs. Like I definitely see more Porsche in the door frame region. I just love the styling. What do you guys think about the styling in the comment section below? All right, check out this door panel. So coming down here, look at how, just notice how narrow the armrest is. It's super narrow. Lock and unlock. This is the door handle to get out. These are the window switches. You got a normal, it says normal for unlock and lock if you wanted to lock the windows. Down here, there's a light to see, speaker. There is a pocket inside the door panel, which is a really cool feature. Coming inside the footwell, got the clutch, brake, gas pedal. This is the hood release. This is for the trunk release, gas cap release. This seat has some really interesting features. So this moves it back and forth, and this seat moves the back, positions it, and this one controls it moving up and down. Here's what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person looks like. This car has automatic seatbelts, so the seatbelt's in the way until I shut the door. Here's what the sun visors look like. So that's got nice courtesy mirrors. Thing flips down opposite in what you're used to. Up here there's some toggle switches, a nice light. Over here got another. So here's how much space you have underneath the steering wheel. This is what I look like. There's adequate headroom. Just look at what this headliner is made out of. This like Alcantara almost. It feels like felt or maybe Alcantara. It might be felt. It's just very interesting material for a headliner. On to the button switches and knobs, starting on the left hand side, moving up to the top or the left hand side of the instrument cluster. These are all for the headlights. The top one's for the headlights, middle one's for the parking lights, and the bottom one is for the headlights off. Very interesting headlight situation. Moving to the instrument panel, on the left-hand side, battery gauge at the top or amp gauge, gas gauge, speedometer, odometer in the top center with tripometer in the bottom center. Moving to the center of the gauge cluster is that looks to be a vacuum pressure gauge. Below it is a bunch of idiot lights, tachometer, oil pressure, water temperature. There is a stalk that comes off the steering wheel column that controls just about everything to do with the windshield wipers, as well as cruise control. Coming to the steering wheel, notice conquest, there's the horn is in the center, and all of the buttons that was below the center of the steering wheel were for the radio controls. I believe this is the very first car to have buttons to control the radio. If I'm wrong, in the comment section below with the right answer, please and thank you. On the left-hand side of the steering wheel column is the turn signal stalk as well as high beam. This controls the brightness of the instrument panel. Defrost button is right next to it. Moving to the right-hand side of the gauge cluster, these are for more lights. The bottom one controls the hazard lights. Just below that is a button for the intermediate wipers. Moving to the center, notice these are all push buttons, and this has to do with the climate control settings. Very interesting. There's no knobs in this interior it's mostly all push buttons, which is super weird. Coming down here, this is the radio and the radio controls. Look at all of those controls that you have for that cassette player. Very interesting. So just check out, this is a 5-speed. Oh, that's funny. So here's the mirror controls. It says right and left if you're in the center, but if you move it over here, it says it's on the left. If you move it over here, it says it's on the right. Not entirely sure what these are for, neither does the owner. It just says lift for emergency exit on both sides. Here is the armrest, back seat. That's what it looks like out the back windshield. Coat hooks on both sides. There's a coat hook here on the driver's side as well as a coat hook over there on the passenger side.
Yeah, I got the radio on, alright, right? Okay.
On to the pros and cons. I'm getting all of these pros and cons from the complete book of collectible cars, blue chip auto investments, 70 years from 1930 to 2000 by Richard M. Langworth and the auto editors of Consumer Guide. On the positive side, strong performance with little to no turbo lag, good handling, rarity. Against it, rough engine, gimmicky styling. It also says the Chrysler version of the Mitsubishi Starion is the rarer of the two. Okay, now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to give me the correct name of band as well as song title correctly will have their comment pinned to the top of the comment section. I'm totally interested to see if anybody gets that because this band is considered a one-hit wonder band, but their one hit wasn't this, and I think this song is better than their one hit. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming out and watching this. I really appreciate all of the support. And until next time, toodaloo!